Shalom, everyone. Welcome back and a happy Purim to you all. I hope everyone's really enjoying themselves having Purim. So let's just take a few minutes to think about what this holiday is all about. The story of Purim actually took place about 500 years before the Common Era, and it took place during a very prosperous time, actually, in Jewish life. The Jewish people lived in Persia, which was Babylon, which was Iraq, then, and they had a very good life there. They were assimilated, they were comfortable, there were yeshivas there, there was everything that they could possibly needed. I'm sure they probably even had kosher pizza shops over there. I don't know, maybe not. And life was very good. And along came a wicked king, King Achashverosh, who only assumed the throne 3 years earlier. It was the end of the 7 years of exile after the destruction of the first temple in Jerusalem by the Babylonians. They were marched into Babylonian exile. The Persians took over, and towards the end of the 70 years that the Jews were in exile, that's when the story took place. The Jews were ready for the redemption to come, that they could return back to the land of Israel. And the King Achashverosh, believed that it had passed already. The prophecy had passed that they were going to come back, and they're not going back. So he made a big feast. He actually made one feast for all of his subjects, and then he made a smaller feast for just his close inner circle. His wife refused to come, and she was killed. Queen Esther, a Jewish girl, unbeknownst to the king, was Jewish, was chosen to be the new queen, and so the story continues with Haman, who was an advisor to the king, advising the king to kill all the Jews because he hated Jews. He was from Amalek, and miraculously, the Jewish people were saved from the evil decree of Haman. Haman and his sons were all killed as well. It's a beautiful story. It has a lot of all kinds of interesting things in there that we can relate to, and it's a very popular story. And I can relate to Purim. Purim is a holiday that I can relate to. Jewish people living outside the land of Israel, being dominated by foreign powers, being subject to the whims of the foreign powers, Jewish people who are by and large fairly assimilated, who are not particularly so interested or into Judaism anymore. And all of a sudden, the decrees came down against the Jews, and so on and so forth. These are things that we can relate to, things that we actually live within. We live in America, dominated by the foreign power of America, and we are subject to the whims of whoever the president is and the Congress and the Senate at any particular time. Jewish people have it very good in America, just like the Jews in Persia did. We had it very good there. But we always know in the back of our mind that things could possibly change. It's always in the back of our mind that it could change. And therefore, we have Israel that could be our salvation if need be. And every Jew thinks about that. What if it could happen again? Like what happened in Germany, perhaps, during the Holocaust, or happened in Persia, or in Rome, or in any of the countries and empires in which Jews lived in the past. What would happen if the regime changed and the Jews, who were always scapegoated anyways, were blamed for the evils and the problems of that particular society? What would happen? Where would we go? How would we react to it? And I'm sure there would be many Jews who would be walking around saying, "What? I'm as American as you. I'm as, like the Jews said, I'm as German as the Germans, more German than the Germans. I pay my taxes. I am a part of society." And all of a sudden, things change. Every Jew thinks about that from time to time. And we are very comfortable in America and in the West for that matter, in England and in Canada and so many other countries in the West. Although in some other countries it's not so good. There's heightened anti-Semitism, such as France, many Jewish people moving to Israel from France these days. South America, they are subject very much to the whims of particular tyrants who have governed in South America over the years, and now also in certain places in Eastern Europe as well, and many other countries also. Jewish people are never comfortable. We're never settled. We always are looking behind our back. And that's really what Purim is all about. But at the end, God is with us. God takes care of us. God is our salvation. And by hoping and praying that it should not happen again, and having emunah, having faith in God, and bitachon, trusting God, we know, God willing, that everything always turns out for the best for the Jews. It always does. Well, I hope you're enjoying your Purim. A few announcements. By the time you see this, we will have had the first Megillah reading in the morning. We are having another Megillah reading in the synagogue in the parking lot at 10:30, and then at 2 o'clock, you must bring the children. We're having the Purim Mobile, who is coming to our shul's parking lot in University City. We will have entertainment by Rabbi Yossi Ruddle. He'll be playing his guitar and telling stories and this, that, and the other. That'll be at 2 o'clock. We have a special gift that we're giving all the kids out with some candies and other treats in there. And then at 2:30, we're going to be reading the Megillah for the last time. Friday, of course, is Erev Shabbos, and Shabbos starts at about 5:31. So we want to finish and get ready for Shabbos just before Shabbos starts. So don't forget the mitzvahs of Purim, having a meal in the morning, preferably, saying Al Hanisim, the prayer Al Hanisim, both in the Shemona Esrei, in your prayers, and in grace after meals, Bechal Mazon. Make sure that you give Matanos Levyonim to the poor, and I can help you with that if you want. I'm distributing charity to people in our community and in Israel. And finally, Shalach Manos, to send out gifts of food to different readily edible foods, so at least one person. And have a great Purim. It's going to be a beautiful day, and we're looking forward. Shalom, shalom, and Chag Sameach, and Shabbat Shalom.